session.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a complete Java course contents. So here we will start off with the core Java basics, that is principles of object-oriented language. And in this, you should know what is the architecture of JVM Java Virtual Machine and object-oriented programming constructs, like what are the OOPS concepts like polymorphism, encapsulation, all these things, abstraction, inheritance. These are the most important concepts of OOPS. The complete language revolves around OOPS concepts. And in this regard, you should know what is the Java API, that is abstract classes and interfaces and classes. What are the different ways and when do we create interfaces, when do we create abstract classes, when do we create these all objects, that's important. And what is a package, how do we create, and what are the data types, different data types that we take up, because every language has different data types. If you take Oracle, you have integer or number, varchar, all these things, blob, clob, etc. Similarly, in Java, you have a different data type support. What are the different data types and typecasting? Values typecasting from one data type to another type data type. So that is you should be knowing. And what are the different strings? What is a string handling? How do we create strings and what are the different ways in order to handle strings and what are the predefined methods, etc. And what is an exception in Java, we will see. And what is multi-threading, exceptions, error handling. How do we handle in Oracle? We have a different concept, same like exceptions, isn't it? So here also same thing, but syntax will be changing here and there. The overall concepts are same, but syntax differs. What is a thread concept in Java? How do we create threads? What are threads? Where do we use in real time? What is the advantage? What are disadvantages? Those concepts we will see in multi-threading. And streams concept. What is input and output in Java? How do we handle input and how do we handle output? What are the different classes? Like you have everything, whatever concept you take. Either you will have a predefined API class or an interface. You have to extend from a class or you have to implement a class and utilize the methods. For IO streams, you have different classes like file input stream, file output stream, buffered input stream, buffered output stream, buffered reader, buffered writer. Like this, you have so many classes, and we will see examples of all these things. And what is a abstract window toolkit? GUI programming in Java. What is GUI? How do we create graphical user interface applications? Abstract window toolkit and Sphinx applications. And what are annotations, generics, and reflection API? These are the core part of core Java, JDBC. How do we connect to database backend, Oracle or MySQL? What is the API? What are the new features in JDBC 4? And servlets in Java, Java Beans and JSP. That is, in core Java, we will see servlets, JSPs, J2EE. Introduction to servlets and JSPs. Same concept will continue here in J2EE. What is a web application? How do we host a web application? What is HTTP protocol? And what is the importance of protocol, HTTP protocol and Tomcat server? How are we going to install in Tomcat server or host an application in a server? And what is the different ways? In if we nowadays we don't do it manually like creating var files, so it's all automated. Classes and interfaces, servlets. What is the life cycle of a servlet? That is important. Every application will have its life cycle. What is a servlet life cycle? Because it's a web program, website application. Means a Java program which runs on the server. You must be aware of a little bit of programming of Core Java. Are you? Or you are completely new to Core Java? Hello?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Okay, one request I have.
Yes, please.
Can you please structure this demo in the way of the application?
Okay, definitely.
For
You want a.
example,
Mhm.
for example, in the main topic you have mentioned above there, you mentioned that this is here you will make the screen. Here you will inheritance abstraction, right?
Right.
So in the inventory application, because it already decided we are going to make an application, a small application,
Right.
like what will be in the small application? For example, one item table,
Mm.
one customer table, one supplier table, right?
Right.
So behind that, oh, in the front side there will be three forms:
Mm.
inventory,
Mm.
item,
Mm.
supplier, and customer. Based
Mm.
on this, we have a purchasing, sales, receipt, and payment.
Mm.
And for this, there are one or two reports.
Mm.
This is my requirement.
Right.
So now I want you, for
Mm.
example, abstraction.
Mm.
For example,
Mm.
you just tell me how you will implement abstraction in the application. You just give me an example. You got
Okay.
my point?
Right, right. So how do we create a Java class? That is what you wanted, right?
No, in the form of application. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what. Okay. Let us take up Eclipse because Eclipse is a GUI, tool that we will be using to work with. Eclipse is the IDE we use to start off with the Java applications. Okay. So in order
that's the
to
front end
create
or back end,
front end,
right?
Eclipse is a front end tool in order to design Java applications. It's an IDE. It's an IDE which we use for Java, just like MySQL for Oracle.
Because in Oracle we have two things. One is the Oracle database sites, and other is the forms where
Mm.
we design the interface. So
Mm.
here we design the interface in Eclipse,
Yes,
the front end
we
side.
write
You
we
mean?
write program. We have to write a program. For example, if you want to print student details. Okay, let's say inventory details, class product. Okay, you have to create a class product. Now what a product will have, what will be the data, or what is the information that a product requires? Tell me. Let's say here is a form. Let's say you created a form, you worked on forms, right? So this is a product form. Now what all information a product has? Hello.
Yeah. It can okay. It can be item name.
Okay,
It's unique.
item name. Name is
Hmm.
not unique, item number is unique.
Okay. ID, item name,
Item number, item name. Hmm. Next.
and unit of measure and description.
Okay, units, number of units and description. So this is information about a product that you usually
Item.
maintain in a Oracle Forms. Okay, let's say Oracle Forms. Since you worked on Oracle, let us take an Oracle Form example. So you maintain information about a item number. Okay, let me say you have something like this. Something like this you create, isn't it? In Oracle
Right.
Forms. Okay. So this is you, after entering data, you will have information like Okay, cancel or add, save, update, whatever it is. Okay, so let's say you have something like this. You have add data, add item data, or edit, delete, and let's say save. So like this, you will maintain data
Right.
in Oracle. Okay, but if at all you have to create same thing. Now how you are able to, or why you are able to create Oracle form? Because programs are already written. So you are simply working with the GUI part, right? Now here when coming to programming part, you have to write a program by yourself. You have to write a program to create a form like this. Now how to write a program? For that Java coding you should know. Let's say class product is there. Everything is a class in Java. Okay, so this is a class and this is a class name. Now what are the things that you have storing, or what are the attributes, or what are the features of this particular product that you have to specify as member variables. Now what are the member variables for the class? Let's say these are the member variables. Now what member variables we have to store? We have to store information like item number, item name, unit of, number of units, or description, unit price, and description. This is a basic information that you maintain. Now these are called member variables. Now what type of data you are storing in item number? It is of type integer. It is of type integer. So you have to specify the data type, integer,
Right.
item number, and followed by a semicolon. Okay. So this is name, item name. Now name is of type string. So let us take string item name, and price is of type float. Float unit price. Description. Description is again of type string. So string description. All right. So in this way, you have to write a Java code in order to store information about the product: integer item number, string item name, float unit price. These are all predefined. Unit, int, sorry, not unit, int, string, float, string, or predefined data types. You must specify the data type and a variable name. Like in other programming languages, this sometimes it is not required, it is not mandatory, it is optional. But whereas in Java, it is mandatory. Before you use any variable, you are supposed to declare a data type. I repeat, before you create any variable, these are all variables: item number, item name, unit price, description. All these are variables, and every variable that you use must be having a data type.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Any doubts?
No.
Any doubts so far?
No, no, it's clear.
All right. So these are the member variables, or you say attributes. Okay. Now, what we are saying here: add, edit, delete, save. Isn't it? These are what functionalities, isn't it? These are functionalities or behavior. Now, how do we write? We have to specify in terms of methods. So these are called member variables or member methods. This is member variables and this is member methods. Okay. So I just remove this. Okay. What are the member methods? Add. Okay. Let me write add. Okay. Okay. Add. Let us take add method. Add. Okay. Now what we know that with add, what are we doing? We are trying to add something. What is that something? We are trying to add a product, isn't it? We are trying to add a
Right.
product. Where are we adding? That's a different story. But here our intention is we are trying to add a product and edit the product information, delete the product, save the product. Okay, so here add means we are trying to add a product. So it's actually not returning anything. We are simply adding. It's like pushing a data. It's like pushing
Right.
to the server. It's like pushing to the server. So if you perform any method, any operation, it should specify is it returning anything. It is not returning anything. Add
No.
method is
No.
not returning anything. So it is of type void. In fact, we are giving information, adding, we are giving, but we are not taking anything. So it is void. So this is about method. This is about method. Okay. This is about method. Public, void, and who all can see this method that we specifying with the access specifier. Access specifier, public, void, add. This is called method. 1 second. Any doubts so far?
No.
Did you understand what are member variables and member methods?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, if you strictly speak, this is void. Vo- Add is a method name, void is a return type. Void is a return type, and this is add is a method name. Add is a method name. Add is a method name, and public is a access specifier. Public is a access specifier. It will specify the accessibility. Public is a access specifier. Access specifier. Okay. So this is the syntax of creating a Java method. So similarly, let's say edit. You are editing something. Same thing. You are not returning anything. Public void edit. Delete. Public void delete. Save. You can similarly public void save. You are not retrieving any data. Let's say view or list. If you have something like view or
And
list, here data type changes. You want to see list of products. Then you have to give public product or list view, something like that. Any name you can give, right? View products or list products, something. Okay, okay. Since this is the first session, let us stop the discussion here. Let's not go in depth. So public void add. Okay, so this is a method name and these are the member variables. Different methods we create similarly. Public, public void edit, public void edit. Okay, so in this way, for every GUI that you create or that you use in your Oracle, backend Java code is running. This is a code that they might have written for your forms, Oracle forms. Is this point clear?
Right, right. One thing regarding just only, for example, for add and edit, okay. But
Mm,
let's suppose in case of delete, for
mm,
example,
mm, mm,
if anything in validation at the point
mm.
of delete, so it will be returning, might be some error or some messaging.
Yeah, then we can write a string type
Uh,
return. Mm. We can write public
okay,
string
okay,
delete.
right,
Public string delete. Let's say during delete process, it
right,
might give some message. So then in that case, how do we write? Let's say public string delete.
right,
Delete successful or record deleted.
right,
If there is any error, displaying the error.
r-
Okay.
right.
Okay. So like this.
Okay, one thing
Now here
I got
comes
it. This thing, one thing, one.
1 second. Return, let's say, successfully deleted. Like this, it has to use a return keyword. If at all it is void, we don't use return keyword. But whereas if at all it is a,
Right.
if you are returning something, then you have to use a return keyword to return a value. Okay, this is a keyword again. This is a keyword. Okay, so this is a return type string, public string, delete. All these are the method names. Add is a method name. Access specifier, void is a return type. Returns nothing. Yes. Now you ask me.
Okay, one thing, you just tell me regarding the access point, like public, private, and other few are. So how can we give? I mean, create the public. I mean, what is the class type? It could be the public or private. So
Could
you
be
just give me
anything.
example.
Mm,
No, okay, but you just give me example in this
mm,
in the type of interface. No, not for the back end,
mm.
in the front end, how can we use the public and private? You got my point.
Yes, yes. See, for example, any method if you take, any method, usually if we want to access or give the accessibility to other classes, then we declare it as public. There will be
For
multiple classes. Yes, I'll tell in very plain old way. So this is a particular class. Let us take this one, new. Let's create a project. Let's create a Java project. Okay, we are using Java 8 version. So I've selected execution environment 1.8. Name is, let's say, inventory app. Inventory app. Okay, inventory app. So let me save this. Click on next. And let's say finish. By the way, have you worked on Eclipse previously?
no,
Mm-hmm.
I have just work on the basic Java, like variables, loop, this kind of things.
Mm-hmm. So Eclipse is
Uh,
opening its perspective. Tell me.
you don't make the any project. You just give me, if possible, if you give me example
Yeah, example
for the
only.
private and public in the.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You just don't do it practically. You
Mm.
just give me example in the point of interface.
Mm. Okay. So here train. Let's save this. Can you spell your name?
Furkan, Furqan.
Right. So let us take a sample. Now we are talking about inventory form, isn't it? So in this we have added a record,
Right.
removed a record, edited a record. Now let's say you want to calculate the price for all the products that a user selects, let's say. Okay. So here bill class. Now how you are going to generate a bill? Based on the product selection only, right? Based on the product selection. So in this, let's say you will use a private method. Private void, you can say float calculate bill. Private float calculate bill. Let's say system dot out dot println is when you want to print within the method. Bill amount is let's say some 1 2 3. But here you want to return it to the caller. Whoever calls this method, you want to return it. So what you have to write? Return. Let's say you have a float type bill here. Float bill value or bill amount. Okay. So here also you please update this. Okay. So in this way you create methods which are required to be accessed by only its objects. Now this method will not be visible outside this class. Only within this class, means object of this class will be able to access. Now how do you create an object? Bill
Right.
b equal to new of bill. One second. Furkan, 1 minute. Let me drink some water and join you.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Right. So now who will have accessibility to bill object? Bill will be, I mean, this method. Calculate bill method is a private method. So it is not accessible outside this class. It will be accessible to only objects of this particular class. Okay, so will be equal to mu of bill. Now how to access it? Using a dot operator. Using a dot operator. B dot calculate bill. This way we are supposed to access B dot calculate bill. Any doubts on this?
No, right, it's clear.
Okay. So this is about classes. Like for example, if you say item, now inside the item, you can instantiate bill object. Let's say in the, I think we have taken product, right? So product, inside this, you can use a bill object. You can use bill object. Okay, bill B1 or B2 or whatever it is, you can create and you can instantiate here. But you will not be able to view this particular calculate bill only with the objects of this particular class. You will be able to access it. Any doubts on this?
So it's mean I cannot execute the float calculation bill. I cannot access in this way. You mean to say?
In inheritance, you will find the difference. In inheritance, you will find the difference. For example, okay, see, this is a product class. Inside this, I'm able to access bill object, isn't it? Now, B1 dot calculate bill, I can view it because B1 is accessing. B1 is an object of bill, isn't it?
Right,
So B1 can access, but the difference comes when you try to extend it to other class. When you try to extend it to another class, their difference will come for this access specifiers, accessibility. And again,
okay,
it differs in packages. Like if you use in the same package, subclass can access, that is protected way. We have different types of access specifiers: private, protected, and public. Okay, but here object of same class can access. Object of same class can access even if it is private. But only in inheritance you will not be able to access. And for example, if you are trying to let's say you have a different method here. Let's say you have protected. Let's say this is also providing float. Calculate discount. Now this method will be visible only in subclasses because we have taken protected. It will be visible only within the same package and that too by only subclasses. Now in order to know this functionality, you should know superclass, subclass. Now what is a superclass? What is a subclass? Parent class, child class, all this will be discussed in inheritance concepts. Okay, so for your question, how to create a private or very secured methods, this is the answer. In
right,
order to create a secured methods which are not accessible or visible outside, which are not visible to outside objects. Okay, so this is a private
right.
methods that you are supposed to create. Any doubts on this?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, all right. So this is about uh, this we call them as member methods or business logic methods. Member methods or business logic methods. Now all these concepts we create in middle layer. If you talk about a web application in middle layer, or else in core Java you create them as normal Java files. Let's say here you have a suppose uh, what is the name that we have given?
Inventory app.
Okay, so here let us create a Java file. class we have to create. Okay, class name is, let's say, same product. Product tab. Public static void main is a starting point or entry point of execution in Java. In Java, public static void main is a
Right.
entry point of execution. So all your execution starts from the main method. After, once you start running your application, main method is a starting point or entry point. Okay, so this is your entry point. Let's say you have a product class. You have a product class. So we have to use a class name, class product, integer, product, number, string, product, name, string product name, into units or number of products. Number of products and float price. Float price. Okay, now these are called member variables. These are called member variables. These are called member variables. What are the member functions? Member functions, as we discussed. Here you write public void,
Yeah, add.
public void add. Similarly, you use delete. Public void add, delete, save, and edit. Okay, so
Right.
in this way we are trying. For delete, let's give string method. String method. Okay, so here you have to return a string value.
Uh, yeah, that thing I got it. It's clear. Can you move further ahead?
Yes, product deleted. Okay, so in this way you can write, and let's say okay, so here it's, this is for printing the values. Okay, so in this way you can create member methods and member variables. Now how to access them? How to access them? That's a most important thing. Now in order to access them, we have to create an object of this particular class. Product p1 equal to new of product. This is the way we create an object in Java. Product p1 equal to new of product. Okay, Now, using this P1, we can access P1 dot see all these values. Let's say P1 dot number of items, price, product name, product number. So product number equal to, let's say, 100. P dot P1 dot product name equal to, let's say, chocolates. P1 dot product number of products, let's say 5. P1 dot price equal to, let's say, 20 rupees. Since it is a float, you have to append it with F. So in this way, you have to assign the values and then you can call methods, let's say, using the object. Now, what is the object name here? What is the object name?
It's a P1.
It's P1, right? So P1 dot add, P1 dot edit, P1 dot save, P1 dot delete. Okay. So in this way, we can call methods.
Right.
Okay. So here, this is the main method and this is the application. So it's a starting point of a starting point of execution, and this is a your class file. It's an object, a class for which we created an object P1. Using this object in the memory, what happens? You have your so this is your JVM, Java Virtual Memory. JVM memory area,
Uh,
or else you can say simply JVM memory area. Okay. So here your object will be created inside the heap area. P1. P1 is your object, and what are the attributes of the object? What are the attributes of the object?
a product name and a unit price and our description.
Number of products and price. So in this way, your object will be created in the memory for a class that you create. Okay.
So actually, this data will coming from the front end, right? And we just storing in the database, right?
In order to store in the database, you have a different API, JDBC API you have to use.
No, so I'm just telling we are working as a project now. So we will storing the data in the database, right? Now.
We did not get into database so far. Here
Oh no,
nowhere.
no, no, but no, you are right. But at the my perspective, we are going to make a small application which I told you in the starting, right? Now, I'm talking that perspective. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's point is clear.
Hmm.
Can we move further ahead? Like if you can go in the like object oriented like polymorphism, abstraction and interface. Can you give me an example in the context of application?
Yes. Okay, if you see here, this is a class, isn't it? So
Right,
class is encapsulated within the curly brace. So this is
right,
nothing but encapsulation. Okay. It has its own data and members. No others can view this data unless and until object of this class. That is encapsulation and abstraction. Encapsulation and abstraction go together. Okay. And every class by default extends java.lang.object. Java.lang.object. So this is inheritance. So if you take any simple program, Java supports encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism,
uh,
abstraction.
can you give me an example, all the three of these things
This is an
in the
example
context of, no, in the context of inventory, like we are going to make an inventory project,
that we
na?
will see when we
So
go to application. When we see the application
no,
development.
I'm not, no, I'm not talking you just make anything.
Mm.
You just give me just example in the
Because
context of inventory application. You got my point. I'm
one
not
second.
talking you
Okay,
make
yeah.
anything.
1 second. Okay, let's say you have a product class and you have a billing class here. Okay, products and bills. These are the two classes. Now I want to use this bill class inside this object. Bill class will be inside this product class. Okay, why? Because of security reasons, we will divide the data. Product is different, billing is different. This is nothing but separation of data, clean separation of data, which talks about abstraction and encapsulation. Is this clear? Product and bill both are related. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear. Please.
Okay, okay. So product and bill both are related, but they both hold different types of data. Okay, unless and until we calculate some total, bill is not required.
Right,
Unless and until somebody purchases, bill is not required. Okay, so bill is different. It can be a collection of single product or many products. It can be
right,
a collection of one or many products. So bill is a separate class. So we divide into two separate classes. So this is nothing but encapsulation. We are dividing into two separate classes.
right.
Okay. Okay. Now next. Now if you take bill, uh, let's say in product, you might talk about electronics and groceries. Electronic and groceries. Okay, so
This
now this talks
this
about inheritance.
this
Let
is
me complete. Okay, so this talks about inheritance. This talks about inheritance. You are talking about product, which is very generic class. So inside this, you might consider, or any product that you take, it will be into a specialized one. That is, It can be an electronics product, it can be a groceries product, inventory system is some products you're talking about. So it can be anything. So this is a specialization. Now this talks about inheritance. This talks about, this is a subclass and this is a superclass. This of superclass, this is a subclass. This is a subclass. Okay? That's a superclass and this is a subclass. It talks about inheritance. Superclass and subclasses. It is inheritance. So in this system, if you see 4 classes you have, one is product class, the other one is bill class, and of course this is not inheritance, it is composition. This talks about composition. This talks about composition, okay? And this talks about inheritance. So this is abstraction and this is inheritance. So this structure, this architecture has inheritance, inheritance, abstraction, means encapsulation, and you use polymorphism. All these are available in this structure of 4 classes. If you want to create some inventory and calculate a bill, so inventory of 2 products, you are taking example and calculating a bill. Any doubts on this? Just a second.
Uh, the encapsulation, I got it. Inheritance, I got it. Right? Uh,
Yes, Furkan, are you clear with these concepts?
Yeah, no, two things.
Mm.
Encapsulation, I got it. Inheritance, I got it.
Mm.
What is the polymorphism and abstraction?
Polymorphism we will see in the next session because it's almost 1 hour.
And
Yeah. Generally, we take demo for 30 to 40 minutes. If you want one more demo, I'll take up tomorrow. I mean, more 30 minutes, uh, I'll allocate tomorrow.
uh, okay, okay, right. Uh, okay. What is the difference between if you can give me a 5 minutes and elaborate little bit Chevrolet, Java Beans and GSP? What is this three
Servlets,
thing?
servlets is like advanced version of Java, like which runs on the web
Okay.
server, which runs
Uh,
on the web server.
and Java Beans?
Java beans in the middle tier. 1 second, let me see this.
No.
1 second. So this you're talking about servlets, right? So servlets is server side concept, same Java program, but which runs on the server.
Right.
This is a server. Let's say it's a Tomcat server. So inside this you have an application. Let's say HRMS. Now this HRMS is developed using Java technology. It's a Java application, or you say servlet technology. Java plus which you call it as servlet technology. Okay, so it's a combination of Java and HTML, or you use JSPs also for view layer. So Java applications running on the server. In other words, Java applications running on the server. Running on the server. Java applications running on the server is nothing but a servlet. Servlet technology talks about servlets, Java beans, JSPs, how to create different views. Like again, same thing. What is the different ways to handle servlet sessions, cookies, and how to maintain the data of the servlet, transfer data from one servlet to another servlet. Because it's a website, right? We're talking about now what are all activities that we do with the website, how we perform programmatically. All those things we will see.
Okay, okay. Just last query. Just give me an example about the beans, Java beans. How
Java
can we
being
use in the inventory application?
so here let's say there's a product app, isn't it? So we are creating a product here. Now let me say I want to maintain data about a bean is nothing but it's like a different types of beans will be there. Let's say
అంకుల్ లేదా అంకుల్ అది థమ్స్ అప్ బాటిల్ పెద్ద 2 లీటర్స్ అంట
okay, let's say you're talking about inventory, right? So in the inventory system, let's say item. Okay, you are making item answer. Okay, this is a item bean. Integer, item number, string, item name. And let's say it has you have getter methods and setter methods. This is a bean, Java bean. Okay, and now this bean will be communicating with the backend database and the front end controllers. Usually we write beans in middle layer. This is a Java bean about items. Now you can give any item number, name. Let's say 100 pen, 200 pencil, like this. So this is what beans. It will not have any additional methods. It will have only member variables and getters and setters.
But one thing which because this getter and setter I can also use in a class as well.
Hmm.
So I don't exactly understanding what is the difference between the class and beans in other way,
We don't
because the
write
same
business
thing
logic methods, right? Did we write any
no
add delete methods here?
in this class.
Yes.
Yes, we can also we can write the
You cannot write.
void and
You cannot
why
write because it's a bean. In beans, you
no. So
don't write.
how can I segregate between the class and beans?
That's
What is the thing?
that's what I'm saying. In a bean, you don't write methods. Okay. We don't write methods. It is not that we cannot write. We can write here. Okay. You can write here add. Okay. Then it will become a class. It will become a class. It doesn't become a bean. If you say, if you want to write it as a bean, then you don't put this method here. You don't put this method here, then it is a bean. If you put a method, then it is a normal class.
Just this is the simple difference.
Yes, it's not simple, it's a major difference. Entire architecture changes because your methods are nothing but its behavior. It talks about behavior of the objects. Internally, there'll be a lot of changes. Your execution changes, method calling changes, object has to, you have to create a different object. So there's a lot of things. It's not simply what we see here, okay? But here in bean, inside bean, we generally write only properties, getters and setters. We don't write any business logic.
Right.
All right, then we will connect tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank
One
you.
thing. Okay, we just end this session. I just want you. Can you please, if you want, can you write any document regarding our discussions? What we are going to make an
Yeah,
application.
I will.
So if
No,
you
no, no.
want, or otherwise I will, because I want you to make it, because you have clear on our understanding.
Yeah,
So
you need
once
a
if any
you need a project, right? On an inventory based system, you need a core Java application and you need a Java training. That's it, right? Your requirement.
my requirement is simply I have made a small application
Hmm.
for the inventory system,
Hmm.
where we have customer, supplier, and item master forms.
Hmm.
So user can enter the data from there, and also purchase, sale, payment, and receipt.
Hmm.
This is the transaction forms, and
Hmm.
two reports,
Hmm. Hmm.
one for
Okay.
the master and one for the transaction, like sales or payment, any
Mm-hmm.
of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that is a
And
project that you read.
Exactly. And in this project, I want to include all this object-oriented program, JDBC, whatever your course line, no?
Mhm.
I want you to implement in the real project, so I have better understanding on this.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you documentation and then I'll explain.
So, are you going to make a small document regarding this discussion so we can go further ahead?
Yes, I'll share the document to the consultant and to you also. Then
Okay,
later
no
we will
problem, no
discuss.
problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right, right. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, one thing, can you please share this session as well?
Yes, I will share.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thank you for your time and have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Thank you. I wish you the
O-
same.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.